Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a dip. Bitcoin down approximately 1% below that $64,000 mark. Ethereum hovering right around 3,100, give or take. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, there are a few dips. HBAR, Arweave, Bonk, Dog with Hat, Tau, and many others coming down to those lower levels. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. But more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project that is definitely bullish. And of course, I'm looking for accumulation, and that project is called ALEPHIUM. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Of course, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. The market at the current moment is looking a little bit, a little bit weak. We are definitely getting a bit of a dip here. We have the market cap, the overall market cap coming down just a little bit. The volume is diminishing as the price or the market cap is coming down, which is an indication that overall market participation maybe is not in it, right, to expect it to continue coming down. So maybe we do get support here. Maybe we do get a bounce to the upside. Guys, leading into the weekend, expect that the volatility could definitely be unpredictable. The order books are very thin. It's not the greatest time to be trading. So maybe look for accumulation spots. Maybe looking for, buy opportunities, especially if we get a nice, red day throughout the weekend. But generally speaking, guys, right now, the volatility over the weekend could be very, very difficult. So be careful out there. Bitcoin coming down to these lower levels gives us an opportunity, of course, especially in the altcoin market. We do see a bit of a red market, but it's not severe, right? We see 2% dip throughout the market. You can see that Tron still looking good, up 2.6%, grinding to the upside. And we got a bit of relief on Bitcoin Cash. We're going sideways on some of these altcoins, like Chainlink going sideways. Okay, not bad. We have Litecoin getting a bit of relief to the upside. And what else do we have here? We have Ethereum Classic. So we got all these OGs, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, doing pretty good here in the immediate short term. Now, if we keep on going down, you can see the general market is definitely in consensus with a sideways ranging, market. BitTensor coming down even a little bit more today, 5.6%. I think it's getting to a state where it desperately needs support, guys. So risk to reward ratios could be really good on those dips because generally, as we get closer to those invalidations of bullish thesis, individuals are going to be looking at great risk to reward, putting stop losses below. So BitTensor could be entering that territory. So watch out for that. Arbitrum 2.5%, doing pretty good here for Maker. Nice little bit of relief to the upside after hitting that bottom. Again, looking for, invalidations, right? We want to see an Adam and Eve pattern. This is it, quick V recovery, nice rounded bottom. Now we could eventually maybe break the top there and get the pattern completion to the upside. So Adam and Eve patterns are really, really bullish. I like those patterns, definitely. We have, optimism coming down slowly, 3.6%, FET coming down. A lot of the market is definitely coming down. However, it's still within range. Structure is still being respected. Phantom as well. Structure, Thorchain, Structure. Celestia, Tia, not so much. Not looking the greatest, but still, if the rest of the market is showing structure and we see Bitcoin get a bounce and we see Bitcoin still staying within that, bull flag type of, scenario, it doesn't matter. The altcoins will bounce when Bitcoin finds its bounce, right? Finds its bottom. So at the current level, I think what we should be focusing is on Bitcoin, figuring out whether Bitcoin has what it takes to maintain that structure. In fact, that bullish structure, statistically speaking, should break out bullish. So let's keep that in mind. We have Algorand coming down to the lower levels. We have a lot of these projects coming down. Even Jupe is coming down, not looking great, to be honest. Could this be a bear flag for continuation? Very, very possible. Athena grinding to the downside, down 16% in 7 days, guys. That is definitely an opportunity to watch out for. It is, you know, a $1.2 billion market cap, so it's pretty large. But nonetheless, guys, this is the way it is. You know, do you want to get involved in ecosystem projects? Expect larger market caps. Look at Ondo. Ondo's still hovering around that 1.2 billion as well. Wormhole got a nice grind to the upside. Nice spike, and now it's getting a bit of a retracement, down 10% today. So that's the name of the game, guys. We go up, straight down type of thing. And that's how, you know, the ebb and flows of the market are, guys. Sometimes you're on the right side, sometimes you're on the wrong side. Sometimes it's best just to let the market resolve itself and show us a trend. And that's basically what I'm seeing here, is that based off of what Bitcoin's doing, and even Ethereum for that matter, the trend is not clear. So maybe it's a no trade zone. Maybe it's waiting for the market to resolve, get Bitcoin in a current direction, in a certain direction, so we can kind of see where the market is going. At the current state, guys, be careful out there. We're pretty sideways. Not really any conviction either way. If you're going to be trading, make sure you get into slightly lower time frames and put those stop losses so that you can protect your initial investment. All right, guys, let's get right into it. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, as I said, is still within range, guys. Nothing to be worried about. As long as we stay within this consolidation or this channel here, we're still okay. It is downward sloping just a little bit, but totally fine. You know, do we make a lower low and start breaking down? We could essentially still make another lower low, because we did make a slightly lower low before. But the question is, do we eventually break out bullish as this bull flag suggests? All right, let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, bull flag, statistically speaking, should break out bullish, guys. I always said that. It's just a game of probability. That there's no certainties here. And you can see how nice that looks as well, which means that people are going to be taking a lot of risk in this bull flag. And momentum wise, we're still grinding. We're still coming down. Now, I do see that overall the momentum could get, you know, a bit of support here. The purple line could stop right in this level like it has done before. And we do see that the volatility is kind of like trekking downwards, making lower lows and lower highs, which is the orange line. The expansion to the downside is still in effect. As you can see, we do have that red, you know, expansion wave to the downside forming, and it's still in full effect. However, we see that the trend could be looking for that pivot to the upside. However, as soon as we were going to get it, we got that, you know, fake out, no EMA cross, and opened up again, similar to what happened here, and of course it's happening right now. So the question is, after this bearish divergence, do we continue to the downside and eventually come down to about 52? Guys, it's very, very possible. But until then, respect the range. The fact is that we have clear highs and clear lows. We could range trade for the next little while until we figure out what's going on here with Bitcoin. Altcoins are giving us opportunities all the time, especially when they're touching horizontal supports and we can put in validations and so on and so forth. So Bitcoin right now is a great leading indicator for the altcoin market. Should we be trading this range? Guys, you could find some great opportunities in the altcoin market. Okay, guys, so I'm not going to get into too much detail here, because Bitcoin at the end of the day is being very, very boring. And that's when majority of the market shifts their attention into the altcoin market. Now, I do know that there's a lot of FUD out there. Okay, we have MetaMask FUD. We got a lot of FUD throughout the market, and I'm not going to go into that detail, guys. Join me live tonight at 7:30 Eastern. We could talk about the news and all of that good stuff tonight. But for now, we know that the overall sentiment in the market should be a little bit protective. It should be a little bit reserved. However, we could still get volatility. Let's take a look at ALPH. ALPH is the project that I want to focus on a little bit here. And you can see that this M pattern with the bearish divergence, in fact, we got a little bit divergence stemming from here, higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the other side, but it was a little bit too early to consider it very, very bearish. Now that we are here slowly breaking below horizontal support, we have to come to terms with the fact is that once we break below, and we are kind of breaking, as you can see, as I'm recording this video, we are falling to lower levels. It doesn't look great. The fact is that, you know, below we don't have much support. We still have a few little wicks to deal with. Guys, of course, psychological levels with those wicks, we could hold this little top and these little wicks right here. But the volume, look at the volume profile. Slowly, as we get down to these lower levels, we are hoping that one of these little peaks in volume act as support going forward. And then we start to look at these bottoms. We start to look at these levels down here that we could potentially eventually get to. You can see that the momentum is still pushing down. In fact, we got another expansion to the downside. We got, you know, the momentum coming down, the RSI, the purple line definitely on its way to oversold conditions. The volatility, the orange line is already completely oversold. And the trend, guys, look at this trend. Right now, the trend waves are definitely oversold. However, we got that cross in the sense that we're going from dark blue to light blue, and eventually we could get into the bullish control zone, but not unless we get the EMA cross, not unless we get a nice green histogram bar, and of course, not unless this indicator shows us a sign of divergence with a green dot. That would get me super bullish. At this current moment, we don't have any of that. So we got to be very, very careful here. Now, if we break below and we continue breaking as we speak and we continue coming down, this is where I don't like diagonals. Diagonals are problematic. Why? Because we start to look at horizontals again, and we start to look at, well, do we get support here? Maybe. Do we get support here? Maybe. Do we get support down here? Maybe. And when there's too many maybes, guys, you can see these diagonals, all these little levels, you know, they start to play games. They start to play tricks. And this is why I like horizontal zones, horizontal support. So what we really need to do is this price action has to show us horizontal support. Now, it doesn't mean we don't know where that's going to happen, but eventually what we need to see is some sort of structure, something that's going to give us an idea that we could be getting a bottom here. We can get in with a long position, put a stop loss below, and expect a bounce to the upside. Now, what about a V recovery? Yes, we can get a nice V recovery and continue. We can get a nice rounded bottom where we get that nice rounded bottom, cup and handle style. A lot of things could happen. However, guys, as this thing is falling here on the daily, there's no indication of a bottom currently at this moment. So be careful trying to catch the falling knife, but we can still use these bottoms here as potential support, as we are still above them, and we could use them as horizontal support, as individuals are looking at this as a healthy risk to reward ratio. Why? Because if we get into a long right now, hypothetically, we can get in right now, put a stop loss right underneath the wicks, take profit at range highs, more or less. Risk to reward ratio is decent, 5-to-1. Right? That's a great setup, right? You're mitigating risk based on maybe support right here or support right into these bottoms or support on this top. You get my point. So what we really wanted to understand is that when are you going to take risk? It's when the risk to reward ratio is healthy. And the risk to reward ratio is definitely healthy. Although we are breaking down and looking for weak spots below, we still have these wicks down here to deal with in this high. And we never know. We could get that bounce in the last line, in the sand at the last moment. We could get these wicks finally getting support and getting that bounce to the upside. Let's take a look at the 4-hour here for a shorter term trade and see if this actually is valid. You can see that we're already oversold here. We're already oversold in the momentum. Purple line, oversold clearly, and we got the red diamond suggesting this expansion wave to the downside, this red bearish expansion, and you can see that we're already oversold, guys. So it could mean that this is the time to start paying attention for that bounce, right? The volatility is definitely oversold, kind of jittering here in oversold condition. And what would be really nice is when we see the purple finally make its move and its shift to the upside, the volatility will, following the trend of the purple line, which is the momentum, is a great sign, guys. When we see the purple in the yellow, in the orange going in the same direction, that is when we get the biggest moves or the bigger moves to the upside. Okay, so we got to wait for momentum and trend to be in unison, to be in confluence that way, which would be really good. And we got to get rid of these these red dots. We got to get these green dots coming back. All right, so let's take a look at the trend oscillator, see what's going on there. Obviously, as a multi-trend oscillator here, we could definitely see that there are many indications at the current moment that there's no sign of weakness in the bears. EMAs are facing down. We got red histogram bars still kind of there. We got the trend waves still doing its thing, pushing down. Yes, we went from blue to light blue, but are we getting any other confluence? Do we got a green dot here suggesting that we're getting that pivot like we did in the past? Green dot, pivot, green dot, pivot. Do we get any of that? We didn't, guys. And unfortunately, that's when, we are taking too much risk. So be careful out there, because if we drop with any convictions here on ALEPHIUM, we could come down. And of course, my target for a dip, obviously, guys, we're coming down to right around this level, $2. I would say that's not bad of an expectation. And then a little bit more of an expectation, $1.70. Of course, the last line in the sand right around this bottom, at this bottom level. The volume is there. We can clearly see that ALEPHIUM is in an accumulation range. That is why I'm giving a lot of value into this area. This area needs to hold, this general area, because we did not get an expansion yet. An expansion is something that happens when we eventually leave a huge volume gap below. Let's talk about that from a bullish perspective. Let's say that we do bounce around here and eventually we go bullish. And we go up, we get a nice expansion, a huge move to the upside. And then what about if all of a sudden we start to consolidate here? Okay, we consolidate. We start looking at this as a flag. We leave a volume gap below, right? And that volume gap is what I actually look for potential weakness. Now, if we look at this in a big picture, what about if that volume gap is bigger? Okay, what about if we get that consolidation right around this zone, the end point right here, and we go sideways? Right? And then we start to see this is a bull flag, but look at the volume gap right now. So these are weak spots, no doubt, but we didn't get our expansion yet. No expansions on the daily, only accumulation. All this market participation is saying, you know what, I'm accumulating in preparation for an expansion. Now, of course, the expansions don't have to be bullish. They could be bearish. But when you look at this pattern, this retracement type of pattern, it does look like eventually this thing needs to break out bullish. We are retracing, profit taking, coming down to lower levels, picking up bullish bids, accumulating more bulls for an expected expansion to the upside, preparation for bull run momentum. That's exactly what I'm expecting here. So ultimately, guys, as we come down to those lower levels, those are the opportunities to take risk. The question is, when do you take risk? You have to take risk at bottom levels. And of course, you have to have long-term convictions that we are in a bull run and you're taking risk based on the thesis is that eventually we'll get that expansion to the upside. All right, guys, so not bad. ALEPHIUM is in range. ALEPHIUM is in the level where a lot of market participation is. And I'm expecting to see that a lot of people that already built positions to continue accumulate in this level, including myself. Guys, I'm a holder. I like the project. I did do a deep dive on the project, so check that out. There's a playlist on the channel where you can get that going and check out all those deep dives. But generally speaking, guys, when you see this accumulation, understand that market participation is getting involved here and they are interested. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. And of course, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Guys, feel free to join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.